everybody. Hello. Hello. Good. How are we all feeling? Hot there, neutral to indifferent. Is everybody okay? Is anybody really not okay? And again, your hands up for people who are really maybe angry or really sad. Absolutely brilliant. Can you please leave? I don't know how to perform comedy under those conditions. And it's probably better for everyone if you just wait outside with the cars. Okay, see you, buddy. Now, I'm Sean, and I want to apologise for the intro. It's not how I meant to come on. I don't know if you've ever found yourself in the middle of Leeds and it's really hot and you're a bit late and you're trying to put together a Zeus costume for your opening gambit. I normally come out as Zeus. I normally come out on the Greek god Zeus. And it turns out when you're in a rush, you can't just sellotape a few thunderbolts to a Father Christmas outfit and call it a day. Particularly not when the sort of angular shape a thunderbolt will take when you're hot and in a rush really strongly resembles the angular typography that was employed by the SS. It just seemed to me a very different kind of character, and people's expectations of it might be quite different, and it might be quite hard to win it back. Someone let out an accidental vowel? I mean, I love feedback, anything you want to say, but I really don't know how to adjust my set on the basis of, well... no, I hate the SS logo, which I think is a safe place to be coming from. When I was 16, my name's Sean, and I used to go out with a girl called Siobhan, and I think it may be a youthful and naive way to try and show like commitment and oh, this will work out. We carved our first initials onto a tree, bordered by a heart outside a synagogue in Germany in 1945. Okay, I'm always very heartened whenever there's any uptake for that at all, because I've previously done that line to a room only containing 6 women from the Republic of Ireland, and the only response at all was, you're not that old. No. Far from the worst heckle I've ever received while on stage, which has to come from a show I did in Edinburgh. I had to MC a show, short notice. Very long, very thin. People at the back sort of liked it, people at the front sort of liked it. In the middle, hated everything, hated the world. They were a mess. But you couldn't get the joy to cross that gulf of enmity. It was a hatred sandwich. And I said, we're going to see the next act. And only one response in the room, and one guy said, I would rather have my eyes pulled out. Which, if true, you've got to question that guy's priorities. And, you know, I knew how to do it, I'm MC, I know what I'm doing. I just told him to shut up and fuck off. So I've got skills, and I know what I'm doing, so just keep that in mind. And there's this horrible shuffling of feet, people leaving on the hard wood, and then they leave, I think that'll be fine, everything's going to be great. And then one woman calls out, idiot, just says idiot. And I clocked this woman when she'd come in. She was ageing quite badly, and she had a cane, and I think there was a problem with her leg. I think there's something wrong with her leg, and her plan for life was to take the pain in her leg and put it into everyone she met, using the things she chose to say. And she said, idiot. And I tried to work out, what's your problem? This guy clearly doesn't like it. I'll let him go. And she said, I don't know, it looked like she wants to have an argument. She's an argumentative woman, and there's an argument she could have here, but it requires her to take a really weird twist of logic, to take a contrary position to mine, reasonable one. So when I say he'd rather have his eyes pulled out, she responded with, it's not necessarily that bad having your eyes pulled out. I don't know if I'm 100% on that. She said some people have it done for medicinal reasons. I don't know, I don't think there was a guy and he was sat there and he quickly and silently diagnosed something in his own eye. I thought, oh, I should really get this sorted out. I really hope it's not misinterpreted as a heckle. I was at the Edinburgh Fringe, and I don't know, I spent more time on that month making refinements to my comfort eating than any element of my actual show. And I found out the best place you can comfort eat in Scotland is the Mound of Edinburgh Castle, and there's a place you can sit and you can eat chocolate and you can cry and you can get all that in the beard you've let grow out. And it's impossible to take a picture of that particular historic monument without you and your tears and your chocolate and your beard featuring very prominently in that photo. I think the real concern was you got to pick yourself up. You got to keep doing comedy. It'd be really nice to have some kind of, I don't know, a reasonable and demonstrable skill of some kind. I love to be a plumber. I love pipes. I just love pipes. And if loving pipes is wrong, then I've really fucked this up. No, I love pipes. I think pipes are great. Love pipes. My favourite Windows 95 screensaver. Also, I don't know, I love everything about pipes. I love water. I think water's hilarious. You ever just seen some water and you go, what the fuck is this? What the hell is that? It's not solid. What's going on? Remember the first time you see the sea? I nearly threw up. Mad. I saw a guy the other day, and he was watering his garden, and he's watering his garden with a little hose, watering away, steady stream of water, and all of a sudden the stream just cuts off very abruptly. This guy doesn't know what's going on, and he picks up the hose and he puts it to his eye to see what's the source of the... I know, and he's trying to see what the source of the blockage is, and just completely out of the blue, his job seeker's allowance was revoked. I love pipes. Trying that out as the new Morley catchphrase, just getting a bit of Morley magic out there, just trying to push the brand, really. Please like and subscribe. I'm not well. And, I don't know, I'd better my old catchphrase. My old catchphrase was just, listen mate, I don't want to touch your dog. Your dog wants to touch me. Don't look at me like that, I didn't start this. Not really a comedy one, it's more for parks. So. I've been working on a character, bit of a comedy character. Nice clinking, good feedback. Yeah, it goes like this. Wait. Yeah, you'll pay for that. Thank you. That character's called the shopkeeper. I don't know, if I want to do a bit more acting. Do I want to see some acting? Yeah. Okay, a pocket there, and then just complete silence and indifference towards one guy. When you see the same being prompt, one sole person who's got any investment in the next upcoming set piece. Do you know how hot it is and how far I've travelled? Just wanting to do just a little bit of acting, and there's absolutely no goodwill coming out because people are very hot. No, it's absolutely not fair. I've got to... I don't know if we're probably not even a third through this entire segment, if that's the way it's... Thank you, that piece is called Man Gets Angry with the Audience. Well, you see what I was saying about feedback earlier? What you've just done there is encourage me to genuinely get angry with you. If that's honestly what you'll like, that's absolutely fine, but I really don't... I think it will slowly devolve from comedy and into, I'm the next Bill Hicks, and I hate everyone. I really would like to be the next Bill Hicks. The problem is, when I come close, my heart swells with love and I have to stop. Joke about anger. Well, I'm having a great time. I've written a sketch, one-man sketch. It's called My Experiences Growing Up in a Working Class Area of the West Midlands, ages 8 to 21. Goes a little something like this. Hi Sean, it's society in general here. Just want to let you know, you look a bit worried. Don't be worried, mate. You're in a liberal democracy now. Just, you know, just have a nice time. Find a little thing you want to get on with. Just get on with it. Don't bother anyone else. And just don't worry, right? We're all going to get on fine. We're all going to have a really nice time. So just don't worry, and just everything's going to be great. Hi society, really glad you got in touch. I'm really glad you said that. I was really worried that life would just be an unending torrent of shit, but actually now that you've said that, really happy, really glad we've had this dialogue. And I've seen a few things here I want to get on with. I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to bother anyone else. I'm just going to do some of these things. I'm just really glad for the feedback. Hi Sean, it's the police here. You're not allowed to do any of these things. I'm really sorry. I've actually got to arrest you now. I'm really sorry about that, mate. Thank you. Absolutely not. That means that people will think the dismount was there to try and beg for applause, whereas really I just don't know how to end, because this is the bit where the sketch ends and I've got to go, I'm not in the sketch anymore, I'm just talking again. And what you've clapped there was actually an error rather than a desire for approval, of which I have none. Thank you for laughing at that, because I was really worried that was going to bomb. Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to things like societal things and freedom, it's really bizarre. I spend quite a lot of time in Belgium. I spend about a month a year in Belgium. I've got an estranged dad who lives over there. Although, I don't know, it's a line in the sand, isn't it? At what point does your estranged dad, with whom you've now forged a bond, just become, Belgium dad, you know? And it is really weird, because I'm 24 now, and I met him when I was 18, and it's a really scary thing to do, to meet your biological father. And no one had briefed me on the fact he has a medical condition called horizontal optic nystagmus. And I didn't know what this was. I don't expect a lot of you will know what this is. It's a problem of the optic nerve in the eye, and it causes involuntary twitching right to left when nervous, or sometimes just randomly. It's just a neurological problem. And I had no idea that this even existed. Apparently the only way he can maintain his balance when it happens is to move his head in line with the movement of his eyes, so he isn't too disorientated. I'd never heard of this, no one had briefed me that this existed, nor that he had it. So I, as an 18-year-old man, walked out of Charleroi Airport in the south of Brussels to meet a man who looked like an older version of me, with his arms together, just doing this. And now we do horrendous family holidays together, which is a compromise no one wants. And last month we cycled through 3 countries. We cycled through the Netherlands, through Belgium, and into France. And I always leave a pause there in case at that point people want to clap, but they never have. About the 8 times I've acknowledged that it's happened. And I sort of take that they go, well done, you're now on an exercise regime. Perhaps now's not the time to rest on your laurels. And that's a fair appraisal. And I hate it. I hated having to cycle for so long and for so far. I hate that my body's not equipped for that. My primary interests are anime and Karamak. It's horrible when you push your... Pardon? Any words I'll pounce on just because my material bores me. Anything going on, any feedback, any new friends with whom I will put my amplified voice on and around. Then I'll continue. No, I hate it, and it was constantly pushing yourself to just keep doing this one thing. It was as though, imagine the Running Man. Stephen King's The Running Man, but the main character has to go through everything he goes through anyway, but under the knowledge that this is his dad's idea of a holiday. I hated it. But the strange thing about Belgium, my point was that Belgium's only over there, and it's still hit by this huge recession, but it's a very different country, very different makeup. There's no austerity narrative there's no public spending cuts, so there's no austerity narrative, you don't feel it like you feel over here. And 5 years ago, in Central Station in Brussels, someone was stabbed. And it seems like no one would make any fuss about that here, but over there, the next day, all the train infrastructure staff went on strike. And that seems like a whole European thing, but imagine that having a level of job security. Whereas over here, like, Not only you've not made people got jobs, and no infrastructure to even help them get them, as though the mantra tends to be, if you give a man a fish, you'll engender a culture of dependency from which they'll never get out. But if you sanction a man who can't fish for not trying to fish even though they haven't woken up in 2 weeks, you'll help expedite a life insurance payout that will feed his family for up to 5 months after tax. Well, better yet, you get all the water that the fish needs, and you put them all up in clouds that are unwilling to relinquish any of the water they previously had because they borrowed it against fish that didn't exist. And then you may as well, once you interact with the clouds, just give them a peerage, just they have a nice time, and hopefully by the time they've entered Westminster, they're so swollen with taxpayers' water that everybody drowns. Okay, it's interesting to see that I never know what uptake. I'm trying to talk about politics more, especially given Thursday, but I never know what the uptake or the demographics are going to be. Can I just, if anyone here is not left of centre, can we just have a quick chat now, and then I can arrange the seats accordingly? Absolutely. You guy, hey buddy, how's it going? Left us. Are you following the World Cup? Yeah, the old Fotobollo. It's good. But we all know about the World Cup because we have an obligation to know because it affects the governance of our country. It's good. I love it all. The nets, all the Ronaldos. I mean, I love the refs. Love me damn refs. Love it. And of course, a welfare system managed by national taxation. Yeah. Goal! Because the idea behind a conservative ideology is something called trickle-down economics. Who has heard of this? And who has not? Who goes, oh, it's 3 words, and I really don't want to seem stupid, and I'm hot. Trickle-down economics is the idea that if you allow greater profit margins for the higher corporations, somehow, through some magic system of bagatelle, it will fall down and land in the wallets of the poor. It seems mad, as though all corporate enterprise wasn't just a bunch of water nets designed to stop those trickles getting through in any way. Trickle-down economics is like watching a fat man in a suit eat a quiche in front of your starving family, and you get to work out what flavour it was from his farts. I think just more, I like seeing anyone just demonstrate any kind of political awareness or political interest in stuff. Do you see in Nottingham someone threw an egg at Nigel Farage? I thought it was really good, but it's not enough. I want to see someone throw Nigel Farage at an egg. Imagine the level of impact that would have. And you never know when you're going to need it. You never know when you're going to need a system to help you. When I was 18 years old, I was actually made homeless after a minor domestic dispute. I had nowhere to live. Although at the time it was actually quite lucky because I just finished my A-levels and we planned a holiday to Blackpool, which happened to be the next day. So I actually had a really nice time. But I'd forgotten I was homeless when I got back into Hull, where I was living at the time. Pardon? Did I hear a non-ironic whoop at Hull? Yeah, no, I know who you are. You're holding your hands up. Only someone... You were the guys who were doing a kind of commentary behind Kiri's set because you didn't know that the opening act thought it'd be funny to sit in the crowd and shake everyone's hand. And I'm really glad that you've stopped. But I really wish maybe, perhaps an hour after the show, you try not talking then, so it eats into your time. Anyway. Yeah, first I remembered, oh, I'm homeless, and second I remembered, oh, I'm homeless in Hull. Hi guys, I just want to talk about a time when I had nowhere to live, and it's sort of supporting some points I made about the welfare state, but I don't want to make snap judgments, but I want to happily assume that I don't need to preach to you about being left-wing. Maybe not you. You look like you've been influenced by American culture quite a lot, whereas you look like you like being out in tents and fields. Yeah? You probably like kind of guitar music, but influenced by like punk and industrial slightly. Pardon? Fair enough. I don't have to be right. I just have to keep talking. And I'm just going to just catch you up. I was homeless in Hull. That alone is so desperately pathetic that it's funny in itself. And it was horrible. I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know how to deal with any of it. And so a homeless man came up to me then and there as I was sat with all my worldly possessions and asked me if I could spare some change. Obviously, I couldn't at the time. That's the worst time to start giving away any of your money. But I did have an excuse which was new to me, which I'd never had before. I said, no, I can't. I'm homeless as well. And the guy looked at me. I'm dressed like I am now, and he goes, "You don't look homeless." And I said a response. It made him very angry, and I realised, in retrospect, why he got so angry. Because he said, "You don't look homeless," and I said, "No, I'm new." Although I wasn't properly homeless, I wasn't pedigree, I'd already successfully registered to do a BA in philosophy. I mean, I was just basically killing time, and there's nothing that really spoils the camaraderie of living on the streets than going, "Okay, everyone, I've got to go learn about Plato now. I'm sorry, goodbye, everybody." I guess, has anyone here ever taken a drug? Good, because this is the only place I've not had to just really push for someone to admit that they've taken a drug. Although that little pocket there is obviously not representative of how many people in this room have taken a drug. I went off drugs for a very long time. I thought they were dumb, and I thought, yeah, drugs are crap, and you shouldn't do drugs, right? Shouldn't do drugs. But I did MDMA, and I absolutely turned that opinion right the way around. Absolutely, on behalf of Brudenell Social Club and Nathan Brudenell and Pigeon Hole, absolutely MDMA is the way to go. It's a wonderful time, and you won't regret it. Because I think marijuana is stupid. I think you take marijuana and you think stupid things, and the next day you go, oh, stupid things. But if you just take ecstasy and just have a nice sit around, you can think loads of lovely things. The next thing you go, oh, that's some lovely stuff. I can hold that in my heart like a lovely pocket of joy. And so I took MDMA for the first time, and I spent a good 40 minutes just thinking about how much I respect my nan. What a trip to be on. She's had a hard life. She's had a hard life, and she's genuinely made it work. I'm really happy for her. Because my grandmother is she's the daughter of genuine Irish peasantry, genuine Republic of Ireland hit by so many troubles, and she's genuine the product that lived right in the centre of that. She lived in like a 2-room thing, or like a shed barn thing, and there's no medicine, there's only food they could grow, and if someone got ill, that was it. I said, I better preemptively stop loving that person. And I try to think about who I am and how that was my grandmother's living conditions. She was a genuine rural peasant. And now I have a Gmail address. How do you put any of that into any kind of context? And of course, if you can't, what's life? It's just nothing. It's just you're walking down a black, empty expanse and hope that today's not the day you fall into some inevitable and inexorable gulf. Well, I've been Sean Morley. You guys have been lovely. Thanks so much.